Hello again. Darren Markowitz here from D Guitars Miami with another edition of This Week in Cool Custom Guitar Repairs. This week's particular instrument is a Gibson Les Paul Custom Triple Pickup Black Beauty that I had acquired from a client that originally brought it to me recently because when he ordered it, it arrived damaged in shipping. The neck was broken in two spots, one here and one at the heel. So he brought it to me originally to have me repair that for him and get it up and running. Shortly after that, he contacted me again and said that the company he ordered it from was sending him a brand new husk of just the neck and body combination without the hardware, and could I please swap the gold hardware from this one onto that one and I could keep this one. So I said absolutely, and I swapped it all out, and then I went about repairing this. Like I said, the neck break that was here, it was a pretty bad break, so after I re-glued it, I noticed that some of the wood didn't seem the most structurally sound. So what I did was I routed a couple of channels like I've done previously on other repairs for headstocks, and I grafted in a couple of red oak spleens deep into the neck, all the way down to about where the fretboard is. After that, I sanded and shaped it back to match the rest of the neck, and then after sanding both repairs, I repainted it black and then clear coated with lacquer, and as you can clearly see, I did a good job on it. You can't tell where the new lacquer is, where the old finish is. It blended in really nicely. So after all that was done and polished, I went about adding in hardware that I had. I installed a set of chrome Grover Rotomatic tuners, Wilkinson roller bridge, and an old 60s or 70s Japanese Teisco Bigsby style tailpiece, which I actually like better than the real Bigsby's, because the real Bigsby's have those pins that you have to wrap the strings around to hook onto, and they're a pain in the ass, whereas this has a claw design with slots and with holes, so you can either hook the strings on or string them straight through the holes, which I prefer. Plus it's solid steel, it's nice and heavy, gives a lot more resonance, a lot more sustain. It's not sand cast aluminum, and I happen to have it lying around. See, when this guitar was made, they did it with a gold Bigsby trapeze tailpiece, I believe a B7, actually a B70 because it said Bigsby licensed on it. So I figured rather than drilling for a tailpiece, for a stop bar tailpiece, I would just stick with that theme, since I like the way it looked anyway, even if I don't use the bar on this one. Okay, so then, after all that, I loaded it with a trio of Kent Armstrong black bikini humbuckers in cream mounting rings. The bridge is about 15K, 15 and a half, something like that. And the neck pickup is at about 14.8, almost 15. And the middle pickup is 9K. The way I wired it is as follows. The bridge and neck pickups are wired directly to the toggle switch, which is then wired directly to this 500K volume pot and 250K tone. The middle pickup is wired to its own independent 500K volume and 250K tone. So that way it can be blended in with the other ones, or it can be used independently on its own. It's a very good setup, you know. And last, I have a set of Mighty Mite strap locks. I'm just waiting for the strap that I ordered to arrive. I have it set up with DR Blues 11 gauge strings, and they're set up at just about 1/16 of an inch. After I did the setup on this, I found that this thing played absolutely phenomenally. I've worked on a lot of Les Pauls in my life. I own a few, and this is actually one of the baddest playing Les Pauls I've ever laid my hands on. And the reason I'm saying it that way is because, if you haven't already noticed from the way I'm describing this, this is a Chinese fake. Yep, it's a Chinese fake. You can tell if you look closely at certain appointments, such as the frets going over the binding, the block inlays are acetate, they're not mother of pearl, but it didn't matter. A gimme is a gimme. One thing I did notice that's really cool is the way they did the serial number and the Made in USA on the back. They actually stamped it with the correct size die, as well as the correct depth. Interestingly enough, the one that replaced this had much bigger numbers and lettering stamped deep. So his looks completely fraudulent, whereas mine actually looks like you have to take a second look at it. Alright, so You've heard me describe, oh, one last thing. I had to make the scratch plate and the control plates on the back because, again, all that was put onto the other replacement. So I think I did a pretty good job. I'd say they look factory. Alright, so how does it sound? Well, here's the bridge pickup clean. It's loud. Here's the neck pickup. Here's the neck and bridge together. Let's blend in the middle pickup with the bridge pickup. It's a nice full sound. It's got some quack to it, which is cool. And now the neck and middle together. Together. There isn't a bad tone on this controller. Tone controllers have a very nice sweep to them. .022 caps. Nice big red squared off caps. I ordered them some time ago. I don't even remember what they are. And the volumes have a nice even taper as well. And then the middle pickup, same thing. How even the taper is. I love these WD pots. They also have that nice worn-in feel too, which is great. Unlike certain other brands out there that are just very stiff and take forever to loosen up, these loose from the get-go. Did I mention that the intonation is spot on all the way up? Alright, so you heard how it sounds clean. Let's give it a little bit of crunch so you can get an idea of where the power is in these. Here's the bridge pickup by itself. Neck pickup. Now the bridge and middle together. the idea. Now let's kick it up a notch. Some shred distortion, bridge pickup by itself. Neck pickup. Both neck and bridge. Neck and bridge and middle together. Neck and middle together. And now all three. You get the idea. Obviously, you can hear that this is this guitar's making me sweat. That's how badass this thing plays. I can't say enough about it. I'm a lot more impressed with it than I was going in. You know, because I mean, let's face it, it's hit or miss whenever you buy any of those fakes. And I don't endorse buying fakes at all. If somebody's going to give me one, I'm going to pass it up. And the tuning stability on this is fantastic. Once you stretch the strings in, everything holds up really nicely. So anyway, you can hear how great this guitar sounds. I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of the work that I put into it. And it's also not that heavy. I'm not quite sure what wood they used to build it with. It's very solid, but I can just say that, you know, certain things that I had to drill, I noticed that the wood was white, so I didn't recognize what the scent of it was. I usually could tell a species of wood based on how it smells, because I've been doing this long enough to know the difference in the smell between mahogany and walnut and maple. I'm not sure what the wood is, but I don't care. It played well. Oh, another thing that I did was that I added some Danish walnut stain to the fingerboard to darken it, because it's a rosewood board and it was a little light, and I wanted to at least give it a little bit richer look, closer to ebony. I didn't need it to be black, but I wanted to have a richer walnut, a richer rosewood, and I think it came out nicely. So, all right, so that's it. Until next time, if you have any repairs that need to be done, such as a broken headstock or fretwork or electronics work or whatever, refinishings, or if you have a build idea in mind that you would like to see come to fruition, don't hesitate to give me a call at 305-896-1811. Until next time, Doran Markowitz from D Guitars Miami, thanks for watching and have a great day.